copied my cake. Oh yes, you did. Well, I lurk in the cake chat forums often enough to notice that the copying of cake designs is a point of tension within the baking community. So I'm going to attempt to address this issue here. And I'm going to do it by telling you a story. Back in 2009, I had a job working as a freelance cake artist here at a bakery in San Diego. Mostly what I did there was carve and decorate 3D sculpted cakes. But every once in a while I helped with the frosting and decorating of the wedding cakes as well. One week I was tasked with doing just the piping on the outside of a wedding cake that had already been frosted. The salesperson handed me a photo of a cake and told me that the customer had requested that style of design. So I did my best to replicate it using chocolate buttercream on a buttercream finish. Also, the bride had requested gems and a brooch on the outside of the cake, so it had its own twist. Later, when I went into business for myself, I added a photo of this cake to my website portfolio because it was a good example of the way that I can pipe vertically on the sides of cakes. Then I just forgot about it. One day, years later, I was at a Barnes & Noble in Copley Square, Boston. I'm just gonna do this part in a Boston accent since I was there, and because why not? So anyways, I'm there in the bookstore, flipping through cookbooks as usual, when I pick up a Martha Stewart book, and there's the cake. Of course, I'm wicked embarrassed because it's obvious that I copied the design and put it up on my website without crediting Martha. So what do we learn from this example? Well, I think it shows how easy it is to pirate a design unintentionally. In smaller operations, you may be working directly with the clients, in which case it's likely to be the bride who's sending you photos of the cake ideas that she found on the internet. When you get a photo like this, your first thought isn't, gee, I wonder who made this cake. It's, oh crap, how the heck am I gonna replicate this? Then hopefully you end up figuring out how to do it. So you produce a cake with your own two hands that you're proud of. So you share photos of it on your website or social media without remembering to add the attribution. Well, let's discuss. Is that a good enough excuse for failing to credit the source? No, it's not. When it comes to cake designs, the right thing to do is to credit the source. It takes just a little bit of time, but it goes a long way in this industry. On the flip side, if you're the source who didn't get credited, just remember that cake decorating is an art form, and like any art form, newer artists will draw their inspiration from existing artists who have more experience, just as you probably did when you started out. Now, if you've reached a point where you are trend-setting and people are copying your work, that's a great sign. Hopefully you're watermarking your photos, so when your stuff goes viral, people can trace it back to you. Here's a quick update on the Gingerbread House Masterclass. Last week I worked on a video that's all about how to bake gingerbread house pieces so they come out nice and flat. It was 6 minutes long, so that brings my total up to 34 minutes. For this week's giveaway, I have 3 rolling pins and a frosting comb. One of the rolling pins has little holes in it for doing that knobby texture on footballs and basketballs. Anybody who lives in the US is eligible for this prize. If you would like to enter to win, all you have to do is leave a comment below. You could either respond to the topic of this video or just show me some photos of your work. I always enjoy seeing those. Okay, that's it for this week. I gotta go. It's time for my supper.